Welcome back, design students. In this video, we're going to add some more text and begin to animate the shapes for this animated text reveal. So let's get started. So we need two more text layers. So let's go to Layer, New, Text. We could also right-click here and select New Text. And we just created a new text layer right here. It's an empty text layer. So the reason it's empty is because we need to actually click somewhere and begin to type. So I'm going to type in animations and get the move tool, and you can see this is very, very large. Doesn't need to be that large. This one I think I'm going to use Roboto, which is a pretty cool font, and I'm going to make it much smaller so that it's about the same size as the text here, maybe just a little bit smaller. And I'm going to change its color to black. We just need to select the text fill. That's very easy to do. And I think instead of thin here, I think I'm going to make this regular. Now I want it to be aligned to the center. So remember, we opened up our align window right here. And when we did, it appeared down here. So I'm going to click just like that. I'm not going to use this one because I don't need to. And then what we need next is the with Photoshop text. So I could simply copy this animations layer. Let me click this one, double click this one, and type in with After Effects, and we'll get the move tool and move this over here. I wanted to make this all caps, but I think that I'm just going to do like this, and this should be also Roboto, so I'm going to click here and type in Roboto and select one of them, but it's not changing because I need to have the select tool selected. Or I need to have the text highlighted, which I didn't have. And this needs to be significantly smaller. And it needs to come about right here. And I want it to be probably bold because we need to be able to see it. And I'm going to adjust the spacing between the letters right here. And I think I'm just going to leave it just like that, except I might make it an all caps font, and to do that you can change things here. This is the all or small caps font version, and that looks pretty cool. I think I like it like that, although I might have to make it just a little bit smaller. And I'm going to use my down arrow key to move that down just a bit, maybe move this down just a bit. And now we need our shape. So what we're going to do next is create a shape layer. So I'm going to right click and select New Shape Layer. And that's going to give us a shape layer to which we can add a rectangle. To do that, we have to open it up, and right here you'll see the contents, and we're going to click Add Rectangle, and that gives us a rectangle. Or alternatively, we could just click right here and draw a rectangle. And change the fill to white. We click on the word stroke and select no stroke. And then we can select the move tool and move it down about right here. And I think that I want it to be a little smaller. So I'm going to come down here to the shape layer that was created, and you saw how I did that before. This just did it automatically. And I have a stroke and a fill, and also have a transformation here. And under the rectangle, I have the size of it in the X and the Y direction. So in the X direction, I'm going to pull that in just a little bit because I want it to be about as wide as our text here, because it's going to hide the text, it's going to reveal it. So we want to animate the X size, but not the Y size. So to do that, we need to unlink these two. So I'm going to click this little link and change the X size to 0, because I want the Y size to stay the same, the thickness of it. So let's begin to animate this shape. We've made the X size 0. We've left the Y thickness the same. And now we're going to turn on animation by clicking the watch for both size and position. And they're going to move forward a few frames. And I got to frames by zooming in. If you're zoomed way out, you're in seconds. If you zoom in closer, you're in frames. So I'm going to move forward about 15 frames. And then I'm going to make the X size of this line larger, as large as our text here. And now we need this to move down. But I don't want it to move down right away. So I'm going to move forward a little bit, and I'm going to make a keyframe right there. And this is called a hold frame. And so now what I want this thing to do is move down. I'm going to move forward a few more frames, and we're going to move it down so that it's here. So we're going to move it down in the Y direction. And as we do, it creates a keyframe. And I also want it to change thickness as it moves down, because it needs to cover this animation's title here. But I don't want it to start doing that until it begins to move. So I'm going to go back to this frame where it begins to move, the first movement keyframe, and I'm going to make a hold frame for size by clicking right here. And that creates a hold frame for size. And then I'm going to move forward. So I'm on that last keyframe here. And I'm going to change the thickness of this box so that it covers up that whole word. And so this is what it should look like. Now the final thing we need to do is change the keyframe interpolation of these keyframes. If you watch them play, you'll see how they're very kind of jerky and fast. We want them to ease in. And we'll talk about interpolation more later, but select all those keyframes and then right-click on them and select the keyframe assistant. And you can see here we have easy ease, ease in, and easy ease out. Easy ease is the animation is shaped like an S-curve. Starts off slow and finishes slow. So that's what we want. We're going to just select that one, and you can see the shape of the keyframes changes. Now when we play, you can see that looks a little better. Now if you want it to slow down, what we need to do is space out these keyframes more. But I think I'm just going to leave it just like that. So in the next video, we're going to create some masks that will actually reveal the text elements. And I'll see you then.